Hello, I'm Professor K, and you are watching the 10-part series Introduction to Basic Excel for Statistics and Data Analysis. This is part 2 of lesson 2. In this lesson, we will work through some of these functions that we learned in part 1 of this lesson. Let's type these numbers in Excel in the column A, starting from cell A1. We will use these numbers to learn how to work with these functions. In cell 8, we will first learn how to use the function count. We start by typing the equal to sign, then we type count, and when we are typing the word count, Excel will show us all the different functions that start with count. This particular function is only count, therefore we will start typing the parenthesis immediately after the word count, and then we have to identify the array of cells on which we want to apply this function. Here we want to apply this function on A1 up to A7. This is our argument array. We close the parenthesis and press enter. This shows us that there are 7 numbers in this array. The next function that we will learn is the sum function. Again, we start with the equal to sign, then we type sum, start the parenthesis, and again we specify the array on which we want this function to work. Again, the array is A1 to A7. Therefore, we type A1 colon A7 and close the parenthesis. Then we press enter, and that gives us the sum total of these 7 numbers. Next, we will learn the function average. As we have learned for the functions count and sum, we start again with the equal to sign, then we type average, and then we can either type A1 colon A7 or use our mouse cursor and select these 7 cells. That also will bring the array as an argument of the average function. We close the parenthesis and press enter. Therefore, the average of these numbers is 4.57 and then some more. Next is the max function. This gives us the maximum of these numbers. So max, starting the parenthesis, and again select the array, close the parenthesis, press enter. We can similarly use the min function to find out the minimum of these numbers. Interestingly, sometimes we might not be looking for the largest number of an array, but rather the second largest or the third largest number. In that case, the function max does not really help us. What we need to do is use the large function. So we are typing equal to large, and then as usual we select the array, but this function takes another argument. Therefore we type comma after the array, and then we either type 1 if we want the largest number, in which case this will give us 9, which is the largest number and also the result of the max function. Or if we want the second largest number, then we can specify 2. If we want the third largest number, then we can specify the number 3, and so on and so forth. Let's say we want the third largest number. Therefore, we now close the parenthesis. Therefore, note that in those functions which take two different types of arguments, the arguments are separated by commas. We now press enter and the function returns the value 5. Therefore, 5 is the third largest number. We can go back to any of these functions by clicking on the F2 button. If we press the F2 button, then the functions becomes activated and we can make any change. For example, if instead of the third largest number we want the second largest number, we can make the correction here and press enter. Therefore, instead of 5, now this function shows 8, which is the second largest number in this given array. Note that in this particular function, this number 2 is a hard-coded number. If we really want to do it properly, the way we have learned in part 1 of lesson 2, we should first type the number 2 here in a cell for the time being, that is in B1, and then use the reference to that cell instead of hard coding the number 2. Therefore, now it will be B2. Sorry, it will not be B2, it will be actually B1. This way we can use all the different functions. That is all for today. And as always, keep learning.